Colonialism has been present in our society for several decades. Whilst nowadays the chances of seeing traditional or conventional methods of colonization are very low, it does not mean colonization has disappeared. Rather, it has evolved into modern colonialism, otherwise known as neocolonialism. Both of these terms refers to the management of less developed countries by more developed ones, through methods such as capitalism and globalization. Older methods of colonialism is generally done by occupying a certain area and its people, which leads to exploitation of the local resources and its population. During this process, many colonizers enforce the use of their language and culture towards the area they colonize. As you may know, in modern-day society, this form of colonialism is no longer present. However, another form of colonialism has taken its place, which is known as modern colonialism or neocolonialism. Neocolonialism is usually considered as an extension of capitalism. Neocolonialism can be conducted by states, multinational corporations, and even institutions. The way neocolonialism works is that nations, MNCs, or institutions exploit less developed nations by taking advantage of cheap labor, natural resources, and lack of development. Multinational corporations' pursuit of profit has caused them to extract and produce their goods outside of their home countries, where cost of production is relatively low. Unfortunately, this may lead to issues such as inhumane working conditions. Today we will focus on the role of MNCs towards neocolonialism.
MNCs, multinational corporations, or sometimes known as transnational corporations, are gigantic business operations which operates in more than one country simultaneously. Generally, the corporation has its headquarters in a specific nation and operates its subsidiaries in others. MNCs operates a huge corporation which may involve all three of the business sectors: primary, such as resource extraction; secondary, such as manufacturing; and tertiary, such as retail, which when combined creates a colossal brand. That's basic though. Most of the time, we may overlook MNCs. Yes, they are everywhere and you probably have encountered most of them in your daily lives, yet what you've encountered is a mere proportion of the mammoth business, its tertiary sector, more specifically, its retail operation. MNC subsidiary branches are everywhere, and oftentimes overshadowing local brands. Think about it, have you ever eaten local cereal? No, you're probably eating Kellogg's right now. And its headquarters are usually within the home country of the business, most likely an HIC, or high-income countries, while its manufacturing and labor-centered production are located in LICs and even MICs, which are low-income countries and middle-income countries such as us, Indonesia. You might think that you know the answer. Yes, partially it's because of cheap and abundant labor, but there's more to it. Operating outside of the home country would mean that the outsourced countries would have to bear the negative externalities of the MNCs, such as waste, pollution, deforestation, and of course, exploitation of resources. There's more though. MNCs have massive influence and can often exert economic pressures which is threatening towards MICs and LICs alike. Influences are often used to mask cheating. Several cases have shown that MNCs avoid tax over $40 billion of income through a trade mispricing, a practice where corporations artificially set prices of goods or services sold between its subsidiaries to avoid taxation. And according to the UNCTAD, developing countries as a whole lose an estimate about $100 billion a year through a set of tax avoidance schemes involving tax havens. These tax burdens would then increase the amount of tax taxpayers must pay. P.S. That's us, if you didn't know. We're essentially paying for them, while the subsidiaries and the harboring MICs and LICs are laden with issues incurred by negative externalities, the HIC reaps all the benefits, the profit, the brand deals, and of course, the loyalty of their customers. Behind the brand that we love, there exist thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of underpaid workers, exploitation, environmental degradation, and destruction. This is modern colonialism.
Day and age? These are the answers, or rather, questions that come to several people's mind when they're asked whether colonialism still persists in contemporary global society. Contrary to mainstream opinion, we believe that in present-day globalized society, colonialism practices still remain amongst ourselves, regardless of the fact that several countries, out of the total of 193 UN-recognized nations, were born out of the decolonization process itself. This goes to show just how much the world has changed due to the repercussions brought forth by decolonization. Halperin pointed out that neocolonialism typically operates through the investments of multinational corporations that, although do increase the wealth of these underdeveloped countries, those underdeveloped countries are stuck within a dependent relationship with the developed countries instead. This is particularly true in the case of the US sports apparel company Nike and their decision to offshore their manufacturing plants to countries where both raw and human resources are readily available. Stated in a report conducted in the 90s by Matt Woolsey and Matt Lichtig from Stanford University, Nike's decision to move its manufacturing plant out of the United States can be attributed to the lucrative benefits posed by the untapped global market, in which cheap labor could manufacture shoes and other clothing at the fraction of the price it would cost domestically in the United States. At the same time, Nike also wanted to capitalize on the wealth posed by the potential market it could reach countries where populations are abundant, such as that of China. In an article written by John Braddock in 2011, he highlighted how supervisors regularly physically assaulted and verbally abused the workers in one of Nike's manufacturing plant in Indonesia. Subsequently, the same manufacturing plant, whose workers are mostly female, has also exhibited numerous abusive behaviors, namely how they are deliberately being underpaid. One worker reported that supervisors typically throw shoes and other things at them. These supervisors would growl and slap the workers there. Simultaneously, workers who filed complaints have found themselves out of work, in jail, or even physically assaulted. Another contractor, Pete Amara Footwear Factory, has had its supervisor caught ordering 6 female workers to stand in the hot sun after these workers failed to meet their target of 60 dozen pairs of shoes in time. Lastly, a report conducted by Oxfam Australia has found that Nike's manufacturing plants in Indonesia are riddled with workplace hazards, such as toxic chemicals inhaled by the workers on a daily basis and the risk posed by unguarded cutting machines as well.
So, after knowing what is neocolonialism and what are the examples of such practices, you might end up wondering, well, that is horrible. How can I play part to put a stop towards the exploit the hard work of thousands of people? It's going to be a fight. This corporation usually employ a longhand approach on labor exploitation by hiring subcontractor to do the exploitation, making it even harder to hold this billion-dollar company directly accountable. But as the old saying goes, customer is the king. Thus, we, as a customer, actually have an immense power to put a stop on this practice. And remember, put an emphasis on we, since this is not a fight of you or me. It is a fight that we all must partake. If only customer, meaning you and I, are being socially conscious about this issue and well educated enough on where our money will end up and what cause would it support, then with the fundamental belief of human decency, no one will support this form of exploitation. And if enough of us rally on the same goal, then this corporation will feel the pressure and start to shift their business model. Or if you could buy a local product and support your local community in the process. Or if you know any act of labor exploitation near you, don't be afraid to speak up and make sure that everyone around you know about these malpractices. Because the worst thing that you can do regarding this condition is to normalize it. There's just simply so many things that you can do. If the result outweighs the cost, then there is nothing stopping you from doing it, right? If the result of this fight is a working place that is secure and well maintained for everyone who will spend hours in it, then it is safe to say that it will outweigh every cost that you can think about. It is just simply worth every effort. Remember that at the other side, every penny that you have spent might contribute to the exploitation of underage children that are supposed to go to school, and that every dime might endorse the inhuman condition of this worker, and that every dollar that you have spent might well worsen quality of life for this worker. So be socially conscious. It's about damn time we make some change.